Welcome to Live, Life Inspired Views for Every Day. My name is Chris Meyer, and I'm a curious soul. I'm going to be 70 years old in March. When I mention my age, I always give credit for the color of my hair to Walmart. I tell you this because it is exciting to be living and learning no matter what age we are, if we choose to live life that way. The number 70 looks so odd because I certainly don't feel that age. I'll never forget the time I was taking a woman named Mildred in the ambulance to the Alzheimer's unit. To complete my paperwork, I asked Mildred how old she was. She shook her head and said, I don't know. So I quipped, the old baseball player Satchel Paige. He said, how old would you be if you didn't know how old you was? I told Mildred that I would be 24 years old because that's how old I felt in my head. Mildred had a window of clearness and said, I be what I am, because my daughters still need my wisdom, and you only get that by living. Wow. That incident had to be 30 years ago, and I still feel 24 most of the time. As I ponder the growing years that lead me toward 70, I think of the living Mildred did to find the kind of wisdom she knew she had to share with her daughters. Recently, I have thought much about my mom, who has struggled with memory loss. I have mentioned before that she is 95 and her memory is like a flour sifter. Information goes in and comes right back out. She knows it and gracefully admits it. However, I have seen so many times where she displays this amazing wisdom about situations in life. Dementia has not conquered her wisdom. She culled so much wisdom from her life experiences, her choices to take risks and to learn things that were outside her comfort zone. So that little breadcrumb of thought leads me to this question. What are you doing to build what someday will be that store of experiences from which you can draw wisdom? As you consider that question, I hope you include experiences where things didn't go right or you made a wrong choice, as well as garnering the mountaintop and inspiring experiences too. They are all depositories of moments to draw wisdom into something that helps us live better and add to the richness and fullness of life long after the experiences have passed. So, how does one become wise? Do you chase it? I remember asking my dad how he got to be so wise, to which he replied, because I made so many mistakes. Hmm. The Cambridge Dictionary defines wisdom as the ability to use your knowledge and experience to make good decisions and judgments. I agree with scholars who say that wise people seem to be self aware and truly know themselves. Even Aristotle said, knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Let's put things in a practical lens. I read an article in the Atlantic magazine recently entitled Lighthouse Parents Have More Confident Kids by Russell Shaw. It made me cheer out loud. The subtitle read, Sometimes the best thing a parent can do is nothing at all. Shaw states that parents are biologically programmed to want to prevent their child's suffering. Today, much is reported on helicopter parents or plowing parents, which describes parents who hover over their children constantly or flatten any obstacles or challenges in their way. Those parenting styles result in children who are so used to parents intervening that they have no confidence to act on their own, no ability to problem solve situations, and are often consumed by anxiety and dependence. However, Shaw introduces the concept of lighthouse parenting, which, according to the article, describes parents who stand by as a steady, reliable guide, providing safety and clarity without controlling every aspect of their child's journey. In the writing retreat I recently attended, the session leader, Catherine Jago, gave us a list of practical suggestions for writing about places or experiences. Here are two. Number one, observe, observe, pay attention. As the poet Mary Oliver said, pay attention, be astonished, and write about it. Number two, always have a notebook to write about the gift you discover in any experience, what you observe or hear. I told Norwegian troll stories last week in Minot, North Dakota, throughout the whole week in elementary schools and at the annual Norsk Hustfest they held there. I had a great conversation with Sheila Kalshevsky, a fourth and fifth grade teacher in the Sawyer School. We talked about how kiddos today have books read to them, see stories on screens, but don't get to practice their mind's eye by listening to stories told, which builds imagination or the ability to visualize scenes in their minds. If we would practice using the mind's eye more, perhaps we would develop a keener sense of catching valuable insight as we relive the situations over in our minds. This week, on your bathroom mirror, write, I will exercise my mind's eye to reflect on what I can learn from my day's experiences, then write them down to cultivate for future wisdom. Join me next Monday for Live, Life Inspired Views for Every Day. I'm Chris Meyer, and I'm a curious soul.